Hi. For those that don't know me, my name is Monica Del Rosario. I live in Jersey. I am a coach. I am a diamond coach. I'm fluctuating between 1 star and regular. And I started back in November 2014. So I wanted to make this video because I find that this is a topic that so many of us coaches have when we first start as wives. And it's something that really affected when I was going to start, how I worked in the beginning. And I really feel like it's part of my story. So when I first became a coach, I knew I was supposed to do it. I had many signs from God. I had a confirmation. I had conviction. And I just knew I had to coach. Now, prior to becoming a coach, I had done Mary Kay, Party Light, Stella and Dot. While all of those are great companies, and I'm not saying anything bad about any of them, it didn't work for me. It wasn't a good fit, and it didn't last. So I quit all three of them. I know that there's a purpose for me quitting. Now, I understand that I wasn't supposed to do that, and I had to try it in order to realize that it wasn't a good fit for me. But in doing so, my husband became very skeptical of any business that you had to do outside of the home. Going outside of the home, and this is what I mean by like working from home, but going to people's houses and having your inventory and trying to build a business. You're essentially your own boss, right? So in watching me not thrive in those three companies, I think he just started to believe all of it. They're pyramid schemes, right? And they don't work. They don't last. They don't offer security. They don't help our family. So being a husband who is very protective of me and our family and our future, he just naturally was very doubtful of what any kind of company like this could offer me, us, our family. Now, we have 4 children together. And when I became a mother, I wanted to stay home and raise them. And by God's grace, I have been able to do so. My oldest child is going to be 12 in a few days. And I have a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a soon-to-be 6-year-old. I have always just wanted to be a mom. I've always just wanted to be a wife. And when I say that, I say like 15 years old. I was already dreaming about being a wife and a mom. So this is one of those things that really defined what I wanted, a really big goal, part of my heart's desire. I would pray, God, please let me stay home with my kids. I know how hard it is these days to be able to do so. And any opportunity that I would have to be able to do that was awesome, right? And that's why I tried all those different companies, because I just wanted something to be home and take care of my kids and then go out at night or on weekends and do those other little side businesses on the side. So that's what I wanted to explain that to you first, because that is what entered the doubt in my husband's head of any company that is a multi-level marketing company. He doesn't believe in them. He's a very big skeptic. He just doesn't trust it. I respect how he feels. I know that it's hard to be your own boss. And so fast forward throughout all of these 12 years that my oldest has been here. I've obviously been a stay-at-home mom for 12 years. I have always been heavy in fitness, and I got to that point after I had my third or fourth kid, off and on with fitness and working out after baby, during baby, fitting in whenever I could, just became a big part of my life. Fitness just became a big part of my life. And so when I found my upline on Facebook, she resonated with me, okay? And this happened for like a year. And I was following her, didn't tell my husband about anything, because I was just, building a relationship with my upline. Like, there's nothing for him to really know, right? But as the time grew and started passing, I started to get that feeling like maybe I should be doing this coaching, because I'm in fitness already, right? And I'm inspiring people there. I'm encouraging them without even trying. They're coming to me telling me, you're inspiring me and you're encouraging me. And I was like, what? Me? How is that possible? And I was really like, okay, maybe I got something here. Maybe I could build on this. And it coincided with Beachbody, because at the time I had come to that revelation. I met my upline, and she was already doing that and making an income from it and working out, which was already a part of my life. It was just became a no-brainer for me that I should do this. Also with the fact that I felt like God was totally pushing me to it. Now, I will be honest with you. I myself had complete doubts and fears that I could not do this. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think that I was capable of being my own boss first, because I never wanted to lead or be a boss. When I was doing those 3 other companies back in the day, I didn't really think of myself as a leader, because this was just for fun. But obviously, as you grow, you do become that. But I never got to that level, so I never really was thought of as, like, I didn't really think about the leading part of it, because I never got far enough. And so when the idea of becoming a coach came into play, I didn't want to do it, because I, too, had quit those 3 other things. I'll introduce myself again. My name is Monica, and I'm a quitter. I just quit everything all the time. And I didn't believe that this could be anything big. I didn't think anything of it at all. I didn't know where it was going to go, but I got a clear confirmation from God. You have to do this. You're doing it. You have to obey me. That's your job. So humbly, I'm like, okay, let's just see how this goes. Clearly, you know more than me, so I'm just going to do it. So when I first decided it was time to tell my husband that I was considering becoming a coach, did not go well at all. We had a monstrosity of a blowout. For 4 days we didn't speak. He was adamant that he didn't want me to do this, that it was not going to work. I was going to waste time and energy. And yes, he wanted to protect me from anything that this company could do to us. And overall, it was just a waste of money. He said no. And as a wife who really, I love him, and I need to respect him. I need to respect what he feels. This is a marriage. I can't just make a decision without him. I decided it wasn't time. With much prayer and regret, I said, it's not time. God, I know you want me to do it, but it's not time. I can't go against him. I know you're more important, but my job here, honestly, too, is to honor him and his feelings and validate them. And I didn't do it. So in that year that went by, from me initially wanting to sign up, I suffered a lot, and I just felt the pull constantly. God telling me, this is what I want you to do. Just trust me. I will work on him. Let's pray about it. Just in the right time. You have to do this. I have equipped you. I've gifted you. I'm going to grow you. I just kept getting these confirmations over and over and over and over again for a year. And I'm still growing my relationship with my upline. So that was getting stronger too. And I just felt more and more a leading to do it. So I was praying this whole year, that year, of before signing up. all right, God, if this is what you want me to do, I pray for you to soften his heart. I pray for you to open those doors. I pray for you to be able to just give me the opportunity for him to just not so much support Beachbody, but support me as his wife and just be there for me. And if I fall, that he's going to be there to carry me and pick me back up like a husband should do. And I prayed for God's timing to soften his heart in his own time. And I'm saying this because as wives, I understand that desire to and that need to really respect how your husband feels. And by no means would I ever say to you to do it anyway. If a fight turns out to be as big as the one that I had, it's just not worth it. You need to sit on that and pray a lot and talk to him about the company, about your dreams, about where you see it going, about what you feel. But I couldn't do that in the beginning because I didn't have any desire to do it. I just knew I had to. I asked him. He said no. Oh, all right. I was upset because it was like more of a, he's not supporting me. How dare he? Then, maybe he's right. I kind of don't want to do it anyway. So it ended up working out, right? Well, when we go against what God's plan is, we're always going to suffer. And he wanted to do so much through me that I didn't allow him to do in that time. And I suffered a lot for it. And I resented Alex for it, for not wanting to support me. But I couldn't do it in that time. And it all worked. So when you are really struggling with, like my husband isn't supportive, he's not supporting me, he's not understanding, listen to him. Validate his feelings. Hear him out. And educate yourself. Educate yourself on what you're getting into. Educate yourself on what it's going to mean for you as a person. Educate yourself on what it's going to mean for you as a family. Yes, throw the possibility of opportunity around like it's nobody's business, because the opportunity, I'll tell you, is enormous. You don't know that yet as a wife going into Beachbody coaching from the very beginning. I'll tell you, and anybody could tell you the opportunity is big, but you need to experience that as your journey grows. But in the moment of you not getting along with him and being resentful and bitter because he's not supporting you, I encourage you to just keep talking about it. Learning more about the company, learning more about other coaches and how they run their business, whether they're moms or wives and have been and walked through the same path as you, will make your foundation stronger to confront that with him and talk about it and listen to him and validate his feelings, because he just wants to be heard. He wants to understand that you hear that he has doubts. Now, whether those doubts are valid or not, it's okay. We all have them, right? I know it's harder sitting from the perspective of I want to coach and he's not understanding, but we all doubt everything all the time. So just give him the benefit of the doubt and just hear him out. And then while you're educating yourself on the journey, other coaches, other stories, other opportunities that have gotten them through this, share my story with anybody that you want. Share my story with your husband. You will then start to feel that confirmation yourself. Okay, I'm going to do this. And then tell him, like I told my husband, babe, just support me and what I'm capable of. Believe in me. You don't have to believe in Beachbody. Just believe in me and what I am capable of doing, what God can possibly do through me. Just trust that. You don't have to trust the company. Just let's give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I told him that. If it doesn't work, then I can say, all right, baby, you were right. No man doesn't want to hear that. So just give him the chance. And then pray. I would say pray a lot to soften his heart. So every conversation could be in the right timing, in the right way, so he receives a little bit of that truth and sits on it. You know, men need to think a lot about situations like that, about big decisions like that. They need to think. You can't just, like us, for me, you can spring things on me today and I'm very indecisive, so this doesn't really apply to me, but usually we can make decisions a lot faster than men. Men need to sit on it. They need to think. So plant the seed and just take that time to just talk to him. Hey, I learned this today. Hey, there's a story and it really touched me. And she's another coach. Just plant seeds and just ask God to bless every single conversation you guys have about Beachbody. And maybe one day he will be like, all right, honey, I still don't really trust the company, but I trust you. And praise God if that moment comes, because then you can say, this was totally from God and it wasn't from me, right? So I'll tell you, from that year that I started, my husband, from November of 2014 all the way up until about a month ago, didn't believe in what I was doing. We are April of 2016 right now. If you're seeing this video today, I don't know if you're going to see it years from now or a month from now. April 2016 is where I am right now. As of a month ago, he still was a skeptic. Even how much I've grown in my personal development, how much I've been motivated and encouraged and built relationships and been able to help others change their lives and worked out and stayed healthy and cared enough about my body and my life to be a good mom, a better wife. All of that has happened since I became a coach. I have grown tremendously, and he knows it. Whether he acknowledges it or not, he knows it. Even to the point that he's actually started to work out and use our programs, which he didn't do up until a month ago either. So he's seen me work out with all the programs, and he said, heck no, I'm not doing that. That doesn't work. I'm going to the gym. I work out. I lift weights, which he never did anyway. But that's besides the point. He didn't believe in the programs. He didn't believe in Beachbody at all. A month ago, I was blessed enough to be able to go on the Success Club trip. It was a cruise to the Bahamas and Jamaica. With 4 children that we have together, we don't get to go on many vacations like that. Actually, the last time we went on one alone without children was on our honeymoon when we got married back in 2003. That's how many years have gone by and we have not been able to go on a vacation alone together. We were able to send our kids to Miami and have them spend time with their grandparents, and we were able to go on a cruise. That experience allowed him to open his eyes to see and talk about Beachbody as if it was a job that changes lives. Whoa. Talking to men who have left their full-time jobs to coach. He saw a ship full of coaches that were having fun every day, swimming and drinking like normal people, and then waking up at 6 a.m. to work out. He saw a ship full of happy-go-lucky, healthy people. And he experienced fun and laughter and sun and drinking. And it came to a whole new level to him. I know it because I see it. He hasn't officially said it, but you know what he did when he got back? He started asking me all about the company, how it works, what it means to change ranks, how I can grow, how just details that he never ever asked me before that. He wanted to come home and work out. He is working out to hardcore actually. And he's drinking Shakeology. But this is the kicker. He gets home and he starts asking me for samples that he wants to give to all his people at work. All his friends at work. Like, he sporadically did that over this past year. Like, hey, my wife, if they were having a conversation about weight loss or whatever, like anybody does at work, he mentioned that I coach, then I have Shakeology, and hey, if you want a sample, like he would do that. But it wasn't often. He came back like ripping and roaring. Like in 1 week, he asked me for 5 samples. That's crazy. And I really believe it had a lot to do with that experience, that time. So if you allow yourself that growth first, the opportunity to go on a cruise earned, we would have never been able to take that cruise. Now, paying for sports and the way these kids eat, the bills we have, we don't have any, we can't save a whole chunk of money like that to fly 6 of us anywhere. And so I think it was the whole blessing. Like, I'm so thankful my wife earned this trip. And here I am having a great old time for 5 days on a ship in the middle of nowhere, going to these beautiful islands, like with people who care about their life, about being better and growing. That epiphany, he's on board now. Like, he's okay with me doing what I do. He's working out. He's seeing the change. It all comes to a head. So even if your husband doesn't support you right now, you have to trust where God is taking it. And through that, you're going to have trials for sure. It's hard. Your doubts and failures and fears. But what he's working, right? God is working through every single piece of that, even in your husband. So if he's doubting you right now and he doesn't believe this is anything at all and it's not going to work and it's just going to hurt us, you have to take that time. Again, take that time to hear him out, educate yourself on the company, educate yourself on the experience, and educate him little by little, just little by little. Don't vomit information on him because he won't want to hear it if he has his guard up. You know how men you just need to sprinkle information here and there. Like, hey, I just learned this today, and leave it. If it takes you a year to be able to coach like it took me, it's okay. But know that the opportunity doesn't need to be shut out the door just because he's not okay with it right now. You need to give it time like you give anything else time. You need to understand that people need to earn, like you say, you need to earn people's trust. Well, he needs to see that come to fruition, and he needs to be able to grab onto something tangible, like that is truth, or that he could research. Give him links, share stories with him little by little, and just say, this is really on my heart. I just wanted to share it with you. I know that you're against it, but this is just something else that I found out. Humbly come to him and talk to him like they want to be heard. They want to protect you. They love you. It's not a no forever. So I wanted to encourage you that just because it may be hard right now because he doesn't believe in you, it will get easier. It will get easier. And you have to pray about it, and you have to take baby steps, and you have to plant the seed slowly, share stories with him, experiences with him, and it might happen. Now, there has to be a point where you have to do it, right? You might get to that point before he's ready. And sometimes it's just going to take a leap of faith, like it took with me. He still wasn't on board, but when I approached him, God had softened his heart in the right time, and he said, okay. No fight. He just said, okay. That was enough. And I said, okay, I'm doing it. I was still apprehensive. I was still skeptical, but I knew that God was pushing me towards something that I couldn't understand yet, and I couldn't see it. And that's the way it was going to stay until I actually started walking towards where he wanted me to be going. And as I started doing that walk, he started showing me time and time and time again that this was exactly where I was supposed to be. He'll do the same for you. You just need to take that time to sit on that and learn and grow and compare what you're doing now with what this would mean for you and the opportunities that would come and the growth that would come. Start working out with the programs and show him that the programs work. Start drinking Shakeology. Maybe perhaps not to coach. So maybe this fight is about coaching, but become a challenger first and show him the growth that's going to come with you being a part of this environment, of this encouragement, support, and motivation every day. Start getting healthier. Drink Shakeology. You'll feel better. And he'll start being like, what is this? Who is this? And he'll start noticing that. And that is just all the more reason to want to coach. So I hope that this really touched your heart. If it did, I would love to hear more about your story. I would love to talk to you more. I have a front row seat on what it means to have him not want to be on board. I get it. I get how hard it is. I get how heartbreaking it is. I get how much it hurts. I cried for days. I was so sad because I knew there was more for me and I couldn't get there. It comes though. You just got to trust in where God is taking you, and you got to trust the process. And that process may be you just waiting for God to work in his heart. This is a marriage. You got to work together. Okay? So I hope that this really helped you guys. It's been a long time coming. I'm so glad I finally got the chance to share like the actual story. But I hope this helps many, many, many of you. And I hope that I get to hear so many success stories from it. All right, guys. Have a good afternoon. Bye.